Hi, it's Christina Myers, host of The Stina Life. In this episode, we're going to talk about the spiritual journey and touch upon some of the core foundational experiences that we all go through and the tools that we all need in our tool bag to navigate through it. Let's get into it. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's podcast. We are in such an interesting and exciting new energy right now. Are you feeling it? I was speaking to a few of my friends recently, and we have noticed such a tremendous shift in the energies. The feeling of more ease is coming in. The feeling of being able to release is coming in stronger. And this letting go of what has felt hard or out of alignment has been slowly fading away into the rearview mirror. And at least for me and for them, there's been this overwhelming sense of hope coming through for us. And it's such a uplifting and amazing feeling to have. It really is. I was talking with a friend today and I said, I just feel like it's time that we go play now. Like it feels like we've kind of gone through the cycles and it's time to play. And I know that there are so many of you who are also feeling this, but also there are so many of you that are also experiencing this awakening process, that you're looking at your life in a different way, that you are observing the world around you and you're having a little bit of a glimmer that there may be a different way to approach the world and to approach your life moving forward. And you might be one of those people who are starting to feel as though there's got to be something else out there. And this can bring in a lot of different feelings, a lot of different emotions. There can be exhaustion, feeling like you're worn out, you're fed up with the way things are going. Maybe you're starting to see the polarities in the world around you, and you might feel lost as to how you fit into this world and how it's shifting. Some of you might be experiencing some shifts in your relationships. The people who you've been aligned with for many years might not feel that way anymore. You might not feel aligned. You might not be connecting. There might be something that feels off. Maybe the job that you're in no longer brings you fulfillment. So all of us are going through these different pieces, these different shifts. Some of us are feeling this elation, this more joy in our lives, and others of us are starting to really feel these shifts and starting to question them. And it's all okay because we're all going through our own unique journey. And the way things are unfolding for us is really the perfect timing. And some of us may refer to maybe you are having this, awareness. Maybe you are having what some people would consider a spiritual awakening. Others would call it a midlife crisis. In astrology, I look at the chart and I say, oh, well, this is your North Node activating. That's your destiny path that's activating in your chart. And it's waking a new energy for you. But obviously, collectively, we are going through so many shifts and changes as a collective as well. We've just started a whole new 20-year cycle, which is bringing about massive change. I do like to say, if you're feeling like you're going through this big shift in your life, it's really an invitation to return to the essence of who we really are. Before all the indoctrination of the path that has been laid out by society to us, before we're put into the rat race and the systems, what we're doing is we are simply seeing everything that is in place in a new light. And we're going through the emotions of trying to understand what is no longer feeling aligned and who we are and how we want to live. I know I've been going through this massive undertaking of looking at, where do I feel burdens in my life? Where do I feel constricted? Where do I feel like I need more freedom in my life? And I've been making massive adjustments in my own personal life to release from any structures that feel constricting, that don't feel like I have the freedom that I really want or the peace that I really want in my life. And it's been amazing as a practitioner because I've worked with hundreds of people and millions of earthbound souls over the years. And I have witnessed many people's spiritual awakenings. And they're all, going through different things when they have their awakenings. And when we start to have an awakening, it is going to look very different for every single one of us. Some of us are going to dive headfirst into it, and we're going to go down the rabbit hole and want to explore everything possible that is out there. And some of us are going to want to dip our toes in the water a little bit. And then maybe we retreat back for a bit and then come in and try something else or go a little bit deeper. Others are going to experience a path that maybe they want a little bit more of a harder setup where they're going to have more blocks that are in their way to work through. And there's going to be other people who've come in that are not going to do anything at all. And that's okay. There is no right way to do any of this. I have noticed, though, that there are some consistent themes, and there are some specific pieces or tools that each of us really need. And there is some specific work that each of us are here to do at this time. There are also what I would call some core foundational components that we all need to understand and incorporate into our lives so that we can really navigate through these transitions with a little more ease. Basically, so we're not having to do this in a way where it's just so hard or it's very damaging to our energetic field, to our systems. So, I've been doing a lot of unearthing and karmic unwinding for many years now. And there are a few things that I wish I had known at the beginning of my journey that would have brought a little more ease into the process and a little less trauma on my energy fields. There's no one who hands you a manual when you come down to earth. Okay. Then no one's handing you an instruction manual that says, here's exactly how to do this. None of that. You don't come with the manual. They wipe out your memory and they send you down to earth and they're like, good luck, have fun, figure it out. So there's nothing there for us, right? There is that kind of same feeling if you've had a child, right? They don't give you a manual when the child's born to tell you, hey, this is how your kid is, and this is how they're going to react to certain things, and this is their personality. Now, if you do know astrology or human design, it will help you become a better parent because you will know how to work with that child's energy and you'll have a good, broad understanding from the astrology standpoint, what the child's here to do, what is their mission. So there is that piece of it. And if you're interested in an astrology reading, I do that. And you can find that link on my website and in the episode notes. But I know when I had my kid and they handed him to me and I was completely alone that evening after I had given birth and I was holding him and I was looking at him and I was like, oh shit, what have I gotten myself into? I was thinking to myself, I don't think I'm qualified to do this job. And I'm sure some of you as parents can relate to that feeling of like, oh my God, what did I just get myself into? And, in some ways I was not qualified. I had never babysat. I didn't know how to change a diaper. I had no clue that he wasn't going to sleep through the night for 4 years straight. There was a lot of things going on. And then you added the emotional components to all of it. And, trying to manage a toddler's emotional outbursts and 2-hour meltdowns. And I didn't have full handle on my own emotions when that happened. So let alone trying to help him navigate through that. Had I had a kid now, after going through all the stuff that I have gone through, it would have been a lot easier to help manage through that transition, and and also just manage through my own stuff, right? But in one hand, my child is my greatest teacher, and without him, I would have never been activated and would have never stepped into this. So I have to thank him in many ways. And in some ways, going through that without a manual, going through that without the tools, allowed me to find the tools along the way. And now I have them and I can implement them now, which is a great thing. I like to say that the spiritual path is like carrying a suitcase up a mountain. And through the first half of your life, you are collecting these experiences. It's filled with all kinds of things, emotions, traumas, relationships, all these things that you start to collect. And when you get to the top of that mountain, you think, oh, yes, I made it. I'm at the top of the mountain. I've gotten through it. And then you start to look around and you notice that there is another mountain to climb. And it's at that point that you're going to have to decide whether you want to continue on your path carrying that heavy suitcase, or if now is the time to open the suitcase and begin to unpack these things one by one. I call it like, are we going to Marie Kondo our life at this point? Like where we open it up, we decide we don't want to keep something, we lovingly release it, we let it go, and we keep the necessary things that are going to help us in our life, make it easier, make it more simple, right? So how are we going to Marie Kondo our life? And that's really what the spiritual awakening is. It's getting to that second mountain, that midlife crisis, that north node activating and going, okay, I made it halfway through. Now, do I want to stay on the same path or do I not want to stay on the same path? And most of the time we're kind of forced to go down another path, to try new energy, to try and integrate this new energy into our life. And that's really where a lot of us are at. And you don't have to be in your midlife to do this. We are all shifting collectively right now. And it doesn't really matter what age you're at. We're all shifting and we're all awakening to something new. It's just a matter of how much life experience do you have? That kind of depends on how much you have to unwind, right? So the longer we've been in a human form, the more experiences we have, the more we have to unwind. If we haven't been here that long, then obviously we have less to carry, which is a really great thing, right? So, ultimately, I think where we are at in all of this collectively is that I think we are all looking for more peace and ease in our lives. And as we start to move into higher states of consciousness, higher consciousness really requires us to clear out these old energies, all the past lifetimes, the ancestral trauma, all the things that happen in this lifetime as well. And it requires you to leave the karmic stuff behind, and it requires you to open your heart more, opening and expanding your heart. But first, you need to have a strong foundation, a solid foundation in order to do this work. And it's really important to understand the basics first, because you are better equipped when you have the foundational tools in your toolbox. You can pull from those tools when you need them. So when you do go down the path of doing some heavier lifting, if you're going to go in and do some bigger unearthing, you have a strong foundation in place that you can always go back to. And in my years of being a practitioner, as well as doing my own work, I have really found that there are 6 core foundational understandings that I believe are the most important things to know and understand first and foremost. So before you go down that path of deeper work, before you do a past life trauma or ancestral pieces or soul fragmentation, all of those modalities are fabulous and they are necessary in some of your journeys. However, if you have a weakened energy field, if you aren't doing daily work to take care of yourself and your energy field, if your nervous system is unregulated, you're going to have a little bit of a harder journey in front of you. And you're also going to be more susceptible to people latching onto your energy, having energetic attacks, having attachments, having other components that could make your journey more complex and a little bit harder to navigate. So if we're looking for more peace, more ease, more flow in our lives, right? We want to have the tools in the toolbox to be able to get through this with taking that more flow and that more ease approach to it. So here are my 6 takes on what I believe are the main components, the foundational components that we all need to understand. First of all, we need to understand energy. We need to understand when you have a working understanding of the fact that we are all energy, we're energy beings, and the fact that your organs, your cells, everything is made up of energy, and that energy carries both data and information with it and a frequency with it, then you can understand that your emotions are also made up of energies and that you have an ability to master how you use your energy and how you interact with other people's energies. This to me is the number one foundational component, because when you understand how things work and how you can work with your energy, then you can bring what you need into your life. And, Western philosophy doesn't ever take into consideration the energetic body. But if you are to look at any manifestation of stuck energy, that is like, disease in the body, right? If you have something going on within an organ, which I've talked about in the last couple episodes for myself, it's the root cause is going to always come back to stuck energy. There's always going to be a root cause of a trauma or an emotion or an event or something that has happened in your life or in past lifetimes that is causing that imbalance to happen. So, number one, you need to understand energy and how it works. The second big component that I see constantly is nervous system dysregulation, not having a strong nervous system. And I think this is one of the most overlooked pieces of the puzzle in Western medicine, in our society today, is the nervous system. So our nervous system is our command center. And one of the main components of the nervous system is to help us stay out of danger and keep us safe. Unfortunately, most of us who are walking on this planet are walking around with that unregulated nervous system because, especially here in the United States, most of us are walking around in a fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response all the time. All the time. And because the energy field also hangs on to our memories from our past lifetimes, as well as our ancestral traumas, it may not always be yours that you're carrying. It may be something else from your past life or from your ancestors that you're carrying that's impacting your nervous system as well. In addition, in our society today, we are constantly plugged into our devices, into 24-hour news cycles. We're walking out of our house in many cases, worrying about what's going to happen if somebody's going to harm us in some way. So having that unregulated nervous system is putting us in a constant state of stress. And when you're completely stressed out, you cannot trust, You cannot surrender. You cannot unwind from your stuff because you always feel like you're being threatened. So when we work on the nervous system, when we regulate our nervous system, when we calm the nervous system down, we are able to come at things from a neutral space, and we literally can tackle anything when we're coming at it from a neutral state because we are trusting. We can surrender. We can unwind from that state of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So that's number 2. Number 3 is our energetic health. So once we kind of understand how energy works and how our nervous system functions and how to regulate it, and you have those exercises in your hip pocket, then you can focus on how to add daily practices into your life to ground your energy, to cleanse your auric field, and to add protection to your energy field when you know you're going to be out and about in big crowds or around people. For empaths, for empathetic people, this is really a non-negotiable. It is truly a daily practice that you need, that you have in your toolbox that can help you navigate through your relationships and through situations. And if you're somebody who feels drained after being with people, this is something that you need. If you feel like your energy field is cluttered and heavy, this is something that you need to have in your toolbox. So you are an energy being. That means the health of your energy is the most important thing because then it dictates everything else, right? The imbalances only come when there's an imbalance within the energy. So the energetic health is very important. So the next component, the 4th component, is being able to understand how your chakras work. So the chakra system is a complex system of energy centers, and we have hundreds, if not thousands, of chakras, but there's 7 core chakras that we work with as practitioners and that you probably know and have heard about. And what the chakras do, the core 7, they're tied to specific locations in our body, which are tied into our organs, which help us understand when we have stored energy or blocked energy, how that could be impacting your health because of where it's residing in your physical body and which chakra it's tied to. So this is very important because how the chakras develop when you come into your human experience is actually shaping your outlook on life and the experiences that you have in your life. It's also really important to have a better understanding of when these chakras develop because those things get ingrained in us. Those experiences get ingrained at us as we're growing up. And those impressions that we have are shaping who you think you're supposed to be versus who you really are and your purpose in life. And one of the big things that we have to do as we go through this awakening or this journey is that we have to begin to identify where we've been programmed to start unwinding from those components. We can't unwind from those components until we have a good recognition of when they began and what chakras and or organs and or systems are being impacted by that. So very important component. The next one is our unconscious thought patterns. So once you understand how that early programming has shaped you through that chakra development, this is going to help you understand where your unconscious thoughts come from and how many of us are living our lives through either an overactive negative mind, where we're always looking for the worst of things to happen, right? We're always looking at the negative. Or we're in an overly positive mind, where we're trying to override the negative and trying to find the best in everything. What we ideally want to do is we want to be in a neutral mind state. Just like we want the nervous system to be regulated, we want our unconscious belief patterns to be in a more neutral space. right? When we're able to observe and look at things objectively, then we can come to a situation from a more balanced perspective. And this is going to radically change not only how you journey through your process, through your awakening, through your spiritual journey, but it's also going to help you see the world in a different way. It's going to help you shift your lens from a more higher perspective, a more calm perspective, versus this emotionally charged and unregulated perspective, right? Because if we're coming from an emotional charged space, if we're coming from a space of unregulated nervous systems, we can't heal, right? We don't feel safe, and we can't look at things outside of the lens of how we always have seen things. When we're able to unwind this, we can heal at a very deep level. Finally, the last piece of the puzzle is having an understanding on why your soul came into this lifetime. It makes aligning to your path much more impactful, and you can get there quicker. And I think we all are searching for being able to have a better understanding of why we incarnated here at this time, and also have an understanding of some of the signs and the symptoms you may experience as part of your spiritual awakening and how it can align with your personal journey. We all come here with a very unique blueprint for our human experience. It's extremely personal, and it's very, very special for each of you. That understanding of what entails our experience, what our destiny is radically transformational and extremely healing. And it gives us purpose. At the end of the day, it gives us deeper purpose to be able to align with our higher selves and our mission. So those are the 6 ones. Understanding energy. Number 2, having a regulated nervous system. Number 3, taking care of your energetic health. Number 4, understanding the chakras and how they work. Number 5, understanding your unconscious thought patterns. And number 6, understanding your soul's destiny. As I mentioned, I've been doing my own work for years, and I have gone through so many experiences, so many deep dives, and I have learned so much along the way. And my purpose and my goal really in this lifetime is to help others on their journey. And it's by really taking these concepts that feel very obtuse, that feel very complex, and in most cases, not well understood or explained, and making them simple and easy to understand so you can incorporate them into your everyday life. First and foremost, I believe I am a manager of the unseen, and I take what is hidden to most people and I bring it to the light for more people to see it. Second, I'm a communicator. I'm a channel, and I decode these complex and unseen concepts and help to bring them to you in a more simple and digestible way. And third, I'm an embodied guide. And my main purpose here is to walk alongside you on your personal journey. And I can do that through sharing my own experiences and some of the observations and knowledge that I have acquired along my path so that I can assist you along your personal path. And I've been doing a lot of retreating, especially these past 6 to 8 months. I have been sitting back. I have been reflecting on my own personal experiences, my experience as a practitioner, and contemplating how can I bring more love-filled energy to the world, and also how can I be of greater service to others, especially for those of you who are called to this, who feel aligned to this, and are on your own journey and are looking for more guidance and more assistance along the way. I've also been contemplating how I can do this in a way that does not overextend my energy. so that I can stay more rooted in these principles that I just outlined, while providing my energy in a way that can support even more of you without requiring you to wait for one-on-one offerings to be available. So today I am launching 7 on-demand courses that are aligned with assisting you on your personal spiritual journey. This series is called the Spiritual Awakener series, and each course runs between about an hour to an hour and a half each. And they're broken down into digestible modules that run from a few minutes up to about 20 minutes apiece. So that way you can do it at your own pace and come back and forth into the content. Also included in each of these, I've got exercises to do at your pace to walk you through what are some of the blocks that are standing in your way from fully stepping into your personal power. There's all kinds of different exercises with each module. In addition, I have built in meditations and Kundalini yoga techniques, so you can add those to your toolbox as well as you start to add these foundational components into your life. So each course is only $26, and that gives you unlimited access to the courses so you can come back to them over and over again. Along with those courses, I have also added a course on Usui Reiki Level 1. This course is all about self-healing and provides you even deeper tools and techniques, as well as an attunement to open up your chakras so that you can harness the energy, the universal life force energy, and you can apply healing energy to yourself on a daily basis. This course is normally one that I teach over the course of 4 weeks, and I usually do a live course, but I have transitioned this to an on-demand course so more people can take it, because obviously I'm not doing these year round. I usually only offer it once or twice a year. And this is jam-packed with all kinds of tools and resources and downloadable workbooks. I think this is 3 to 4 hours in length as far as the amount of content that's included here. So I've got more information on my website on all of these courses at Stina, Stina, Myers, MEIERS.com. I'm also putting a link in the show notes so you can access it there. I'm also rolling out a free online community called Lagom. Lagom in Swedish. I've been using this for my gatherings, in-person gatherings, for the last few years. Lagom means not too much and not too little. It really means just enough. And it's really intended to be focused on how do we bring more peace and balance into our lives. And this community is designed to assist you on your personal journey. And I am really being called to bring people together where I can support you in a group setting. So I believe that more of us need support. We need a community for each other. We need to be gathering together, sharing our experiences. And so that community is going to offer different exercises. We'll have different events that will take place in the community, including the first event will be on Thursday, May 23rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a full moon in Sagittarius circle where we are going to do some exercises to release what we don't need anymore, that doesn't align with us. And we're going to harness the expansive energy of Jupiter as well as we celebrate this full moon in Sagittarius. And then finally, for those of you who are interested in working with me one-on-one, I am currently offering natal chart readings. These are astrology readings that analyzes your birth chart. So what we do is we go through a thorough analysis of your soul's blueprint and what you are here to do in this lifetime. We go house by house and we focus on the planetary placements. We focus on themes for your life, and you will receive a printable sheet of your chart along with a description of the meanings of each house, the planet, and the sign. We can do this live over Zoom, or it can be recorded and sent to you at your convenience. So that is also available off my website. I am going to be rolling out additional classes in the very near future. There will be a track for practitioners with baseline and advanced techniques, along with a track for light holders with tracks focused on assisting you for your different missions in this lifetime. And finally, I do have a blog on the website where I am posting more information about the energy shifts and thoughts on life in general. And there is a newsletter sign up as well on the website that will just keep you updated on all the latest news, classes, and podcasts. And so you can find all of that on my website at stinamyers.com. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, rate, and review, or share with your friends and family. For online courses and one-on-one sessions, please visit my website at stinamyers.com. That's Stina, S-T-I-N-A, Myers, M-E-I-E-R-S.com. There you can sign up for my newsletter to stay updated on events and other offerings, and join our free community for gatherings and support. See you next time.